So normally I don't actually like naming my characters in any video game, story, so on and so forth. Pretty much the same way. I had to check something really quickly. But as we see, well, we're going to play... Nah, we're playing on Katak. Katak scars, random item stats. Yeah, I don't like names being similar, but in this case, I needed them to be similar, so there was a very specific purpose in mind with the way I named the character. But otherwise, yeah, let's just get into it and move on. So, don't need to really narrate anything. If you need to read anything, you can see things on screen. What are we on? World of War? I'm just going to say World of War backstory. And then random item stats on. Otherwise, to note, we're also using the PERM plugin, so... As we get into this Katak World of War random item stats run, you'll notice, yeah, this character immediately has an event, which means we can do things. Now, normally there are two options here. I'll show you the right one, I guess, when we do a second run. But otherwise, yeah, this action speed increase. So I called it plus 5% action speed increase. I think that's the more, well, the best way to get the intent for dexterity, second encounter, strength, knowledge, maybe every single stat check, but this definitely Takshisan at the end of the lighthouse. But yeah, normally it's a decision between basically for Doom, but your action speed is increased by 5%, or basically just a knowledge increase by way of getting the folklore studies perk. But yeah, and there is a point to that, but otherwise, yes, if you are, for whatever reason, trying to sweat and try hard here, things. Also, yeah, I'm not, I mean, the graphics I used are what they are. Similar to the previous character, I am learning from art styles, so this is basically the art that I'm using here is pretty much supposed to be close to how another artist does their work, as a kind of homage to the homage to them. Akamanto nails, and it's all in good fun. Like I'm not trying to commercialize anything. That's definitely what I can say. Household Hell Shuttle Shibas. So shuttle nails. I almost wanted to say shuttles. Shuttle nails Akamanto, I think. Not particularly in that order. In fact, we'll probably take nails first. Yeah, take nails first. Take nails first. And off we go. We still need to grab a weapon. I don't want to just go in fists ablaze. Although we kind of can. With the 5% action speed increase, or with your action speed at a 0.95 multiplier, you don't really get to... What the heck? I kicked something. You don't really get to do anything too fancy with kicks alone. Excuse me. But I think with force strength, funny enough, you kind of do, because I don't remember my threat level. Okay, good, school. Because you get to brace into a guaranteed kick, I think. I'm pretty sure about that. I might be wrong. Otherwise, I think this is free. This is free. And yeah, not really much else to say. I was supposed to grab a weapon. Well, if I had run into an event, then I would have done a thing. But otherwise, yeah, let's just prepare for funds to get a weapon. You know what? We'll take a curse here. We get paranoia, so we're going to end up doing things anyway. But hey, we need the weapon. That's the first and foremost important thing. Funny enough, we do get the butterfly knife again. I am working with the PERM items pretty much pack. So I have there are a bunch of items that are available, either not just through shops, but also item pools if they are... I think you can insert custom items into item pools, and then obviously other things like cookbooks and stuff. But hey, the cookbook is just the first example that comes to mind because I recently made a food item that I don't think I've uploaded anywhere. But anywho, oh no, I have. Never mind. But yeah, if you don't know, these are all available on Nexus Mods. I might as well just name drop there because that's literally where they are. I think that's the only place you can get PERM and everything related to it. So let me know if I'm wrong. Otherwise, yeah, off we go. We should be able to survive this perfectly fine. And again, just to keep in mind, yeah, we have a 0.95 time multiplier at base. So yeah, might as well brace into a 70%. I think we want to do a strong instead. Can I do a prep? No. Actually, we can. Never mind. But afterward, I don't think oh no, I think I do have Akamanto. Do I have Akamanto? Well, I guess I'm going to find out. We still want to brace regardless, but yeah. Also, just quickly, this character is not ready to upload unless you just want to play with a low stamina, low reason thingamajiggy. I think I could have just gotten out, but, well, too late now. But, yeah, all I have is the low stamina, low reason graphics, so I'll probably after this recording at some point, I will add the rest of the status effects at the base status effects that you can give to your custom character. Period. That's the end of the sentence. Otherwise, again, I go through a similar process. I pretty much just try to draw based on visual reference, and whatever I get wrong, I mean, even the chibi here is not completely to my liking, but it'll do its job. Also, we have 3 reasons. So, yeah, 3 knowledge, sorry. So that is not the greatest, but we can just take 2 reason. If we were taking more damage, then I'd be a bit more worried, but yeah, again, one of the main downsides to this character is the fact that they... pretty much 3 knowledge and below for any character really means that ghost encounters become a lot more troublesome if you go through the sever route. If for whatever reason you use the ghost ritual, and that sounds negative, but I'm literally saying if you have any other way to deal with ghosts, sure, but usually I would say you end up... why'd I take that? Well, I rolled a 9 anyway. You end up trying to sever a ghost in the end. Or at least, I mean, if once you get more attuned to World of Horror, because I think from what I have observed... the latest time I've observed someone playing World of Horror for the first time, they try to go through and find out the ritual and quickly realize that you end up losing a lot of stamina and reason. I mean, it's not always said out loud. Oh, by the way, we're in pain. It's not always said out loud, but you'll notice. Also, I mean, on top of that, oh, that's right, I can't even do Desperate Struggle. Do I just want to run from this then? I can forget Shadow Shroud, but I don't think that's gonna save me so much. Yeah, we just run here. Nope, never mind. That's right, we're in Katak. Never mind. Never mind. We can thankfully leave Offering twice, but I don't think that helps me too much. No, it doesn't. So funny enough, we're gonna cauterize. We're gonna forget cauterize. If one of the few times I do, but it's all for the sake of surviving this encounter. Although I think I still needed to provide both funds for Offering, because otherwise we wouldn't have enough damage. Do I want to increase my knowledge? No. And the reason I say that is because we shouldn't be running into too many ghosts. I mean, we could still, but... I mean, that's not great. Also, I succeeded and lost reason for this. Well, I guess we can do an error and run. Oh, that's right. I'm not on sudden death for whatever reason. Or that doesn't get... that doesn't make you lose the run. But anywho. Yeah, that wasn't great. Ghost encounters are not usually normal. At most, you'll run to 3 on average, as odd as that sentence sounds to say. But if you run into more than 3 ghosts during a run, usually you're doing that on purpose, or you're playing with a lot of custom enemies that are ghosts, which that was a custom enemy. So by nature of RNG, that means I want to say funny enough, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I do need a rest, by the way. But essentially, adding in more ghosts means that's more likely to run into more ghosts in an encounter, even though you might add a lot more non-ghosts overall in your version of World of Horror. But the reason I say that is because, again, if it makes any sense, basically the pool of ghosts, say the pool of ghosts for base World of Horror is 5, it's not, but you get the point. But then there are, 65 non-ghost enemies. Even if you add another 65 non-ghost enemies and add in 5 more ghosts, so now you have 10 ghosts, that still means that, especially if they're spread out between locations, you can run into ghosts back to back to back, whereas opposed to only having 5 ghost encounters, yeah, you're really... Why do stats exist? You're more likely to run into more ghosts during your run, if that makes any sense. Because, say you run out of ghosts to fight, then in the first example, like, you have 5 ghosts, you run into all 5 ghosts, sure. But if you have 10 ghosts, maybe you run into 7 ghosts. So by number-wise, just ghosts alone, you might run into more ghost encounters. We're going to do a second run, by the way. So I'm shrugging in real life as I say that was a really unlucky run, is what I'm trying to say. But also exacerbate or made worse by the fact, or exacerbated, I can't even pronounce it. Anyway, moving on. Actually, I was supposed to randomize, so we'll randomize it here. Oh, it's a test run. Here's the other reason why you would take the knowledge instead. We're also Knight Errant. I've been randomizing a lot of not friendly god and or background combinations, but you know what, we'll deal. So Knight Errant, I think we have random item stats as well, into Zektast. And yeah, this is an example of if you're playing with a PERM plugin with this character as well. If we pick See the Sights here, we get Folklore Studies, which essentially is a knowledge increase, but I wanted to add the extra perk to kind of strengthen out that choice. But again, usually you're probably taking the time speed or action speed increase. Dexterity, well, doesn't really matter. Actually, we're just going to take a bunch of damage. So 6 stamina, damage 5 reason, because we're on Zektast. Takshisan, second to last. and if we don't have the 6th floor. But if we do have the 6th floor, we have a second encounter check. We're on Test. Yeah, we're on Test. We don't have a weapon, but we'll deal for a moment, unless we have Vigil or Scissors, primarily. I think there's like 1 or 2 other mysteries, but Ramen, Coma, Sailors, Television, and Flat. So, could have had Scissors, but no. So, Flat Boss, Television Boss, Sailors, Coma, Ramen. Save Coma? No, save Sailors for last still. We'll just take Coma now, and just eat the damage in the face. 3 reason at the end. Otherwise, we're gonna visit the History Club once. I'm pretty sure this... Does this stack if I so choose? I'm still going to take Protective Carvings over it. Yeah, we want a Witch Tree for funds so we can at least survive. I did not grab the funds from the closet, so that makes me a little sad. We actually need that Dexterity, and we're going to visit the Illegal Den and find out. Well, that's unfortunate. We're going to sell the Inspiring Novel. It only sells for 1 funds, but we need this Army Knife, and away we go. 6 Perception is more than good enough to use the Army Knife. I'm shrugging in real life. That's the end of that sentence. But yeah, with Protective Carvings and an Army Knife with this character, we should do relatively well. We have 4 Strength, but that's a smaller negative. It's not small, but it's still smaller. But it's the Doom I'm worried about, and by extension, Zektas. Because if you notice, this character, because they also start out with Hunger, their charisma starts at 4, which is, again, kind of intended because this character otherwise has very strong encounters with the 1 perk pack that they have. Design-wise, this character only has 1 perk pack to kind of decrease the perk pool, if that makes any sense, which means it's easier for them to get the 2 perks that pretty much come with this perk pack, which is the Skilled Butcher perk pack, which I think is good overall. Or both perks are good. One grants you a chance, or grants you basically healing items for the most part, and the other perk increases your damage on sharp weapons, which, lo and behold, a lot of good weapons or better weapons in World of Horror happen to be sharp weapons. But anywho, let's drink this bottle of water, by the way. And away we go. Keeping in mind, yeah, Zektas is slowly chipping away at our stats, but not really much I can do about that. If we can get the Sharpening Knife perk, that would be nice. If we don't, cross our fingers and hope that Zektas grants us some stats. Because boy, oh boy, are these boss fights gonna hurt. I think if I don't end up surviving any run this video, we'll play this character again in another episode, on the next episode, but I will show you the ending graphic that I had prepared, so, I mean, you'll see it anyway. Well, actually, you won't see it if you don't play with PERM, so I guess I should just show you it anyway. We're taking Doom left, right, and center, but again, there's not really much I can do about that until we can level up. So, without further ado, as we have 2 strength, 2 knowledge, and 2 charisma, boy oh boy are we in pain. Now you might ask, or you might say, Jordan, yeah, let's just take strength and question mark, quote unquote knowledge again. More folklore stuff, I mean, that fits. Technically that's a bug, but it's a nicer bug. But you might say, Jordan, isn't the time action speed increased better on the left side? Well, at least in this specific example, no, because on Zektas, again, taking left option, increases Doom by 4, even though your action speed increases. But that action speed increase is countered by the fact that, well, just having your stats lowered decreases your action speed overall anyway. So you might as well take the extra point in knowledge because this character needs it. Because starting at 3 knowledge means you have more stats to increase to survive 84% Doom with Zektas. And not 0 stat is the other way I'm trying to say things. So, without further ado, we have the Dexterity, so I think it's here. No, yeah, it's approach Kimiko and then try to cut her free with Dexterity. Of course, you roll a 9, so on a Zektas run, an 8 or 9 roll or above is pretty much an auto fail. So, in a very indirect way, a Zektas run also serves as a... I have to throw the empty bottle, by the way. Also serves as a pseudo ill-fated run. Because your RNG, you have to be really lucky to get things to work. That being said, I don't have a lot I can do here, do I? No. So I actually have to go for a dodge. Maybe 40% pretty much. We missed the attack. We do dodge, but the point is that we actually need to hit one of these so I can at least go for it. Can we even go for... Yeah, we can. Not at a great chance. So actually, you know what? Yeah. It's better to try this. No, it's not. Oh my goodness. Dodge is really not a good action. So the reason I said that is because... So what are the odds of hitting both of these? 60% into 60%, so 36%. But if I were to do the same thing again, so dodge, maybe I'm like, oh, maybe the odds of hitting dodge and this are better. I think it is actually better. Yeah, this is actually better. So there's a 40% chance that we dodge and we hit this attack. So here, I mean, more doesn't make a difference, right? But if the odds are higher by even by 4%, I'll take it. Actually, this is a human encounter. I can use handcuffs. So. But again, good to go through the math. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Good to go through the math just to give you an idea as to how things work here. Also, we are a knight errant, so a lot of pain is happening. We also have holes, so that's why we took stamina damage there. But this run is quickly going downhill. At this point, I'm not very enthusiastic about my chances of survival, especially if we're entering flat, which has a boss at the end. So I kind of said that with a bit of but for good reason. Anywho, we can still thankfully desperate prep strong for the moment, but soon we won't be able to do even that much. So, yeah, we really, really need to be able to increase our stats, basically. We'll be able to, well, unless that happens. Oh, I'm really not on sudden death? Okay, well, fine, but... yeah, we'll try our best to survive. I've lost my words for the moment. I'm going to go to visit the vending machine, see if I can get a pack of cigarettes. Because we will like to, hit things faster, basically. With that being said, though, this is not good. Are we on a attack run, by the way? We aren't. I think I have to run here. Yeah, we have to run here. We won't survive long enough. That being said, we are still in flat, but I think we have to rest at a certain point. I have not been counting my investigations correctly, though, so yeah, let's rest here. We can't rest too much because we do need to level up so we can at least survive 84% Doom, but... So... We'll take the Nicotine Rush buff now, but I promise we won't have enough for later. But, for the moment... Oh, we can't even do the Army Knife attack. Well. This is a lot of HP to chew through. Well, we gotta do the best of what we've got. So I can either go for, well, not a guaranteed kick, but essentially 2 damage for 1 stamina or 10 damage for 3. Yeah, you know what? This is actually better. Even we're gambling either way. Actually, let's trade off reason while we're doing this so we can at least get another turn of damage or try to get another turn of damage out. Which is kind of hard to do at the moment because we are missing attacks left, right, and center. I think we're actually going to heal the stamina here. We finally get Sharpening Knife. I forgot to increase my Charisma. I was not supposed to heal stamina. Well, here's hoping that Zektas gives me a Charisma stat increase, which is not like guaranteed to happen or likely to happen, but do the best of what we got, right? Yeah, I completely forgot I was supposed to increase my Charisma there. Yeah, there could have even been leadership there, but hey. Maybe we level up before... Yeah, maybe we level up before we get to 84% Doom. That's hoping for a lot, but... Hey. We could if we, like, pass all the checks in the world. But if we don't... keeping in mind, this character also has a Morbid Inspiration, so we are taking... we are essentially taking a lot, or we're getting a lot more experience than expected. Not that much more, but it is significant, especially if you start with an experience increasing perk or item. Although I would have liked to have passed that, and now we can't even monument. So here's crossing our fingers and hoping that we don't get any more Doom increases. Doom increases, but also somehow get 15 experience in 1 investigation. Which did not happen, so it's time to Doom out, and at least I'll show you the ending graphic. So, the ending graphic will be on screen, because I just realized the text for the ending graphic will not come along with it. So I guess I might as well have done that. You know, the other thing I will mention at the end here, though, is that as we go back to the main screen, might as well talk for the next minute, is that you can also just add the ending text on the graphic. So I don't even need to add the text myself because PERM allows you to put in text yourself. But if you're going to do that, I guess you could might as well just put the text on screen yourself on the graphic, if that makes any sense. Basically, there are two ways. You can basically code the text into the ending screen, or you can just put the text on the graphic as part of the image. So either way, though, I mean, I hope this gives you some, you know, some more interest into at least how I do things, or on World of War, or both, or anything really. Otherwise, not going to take up too much more of your time. If you want to support me, have any questions, comments, concerns, you know what to do. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye!